it's been said many times, many ways. Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, I'm Serenity and this is my channel, and welcome back to Createmas. Today I'm going to be teaching you my tried and true vegan pozole recipe. Pozole is a Mexican soup. Today we're going to be doing a red version. You can do red or green. Today we're doing red, and the reason I am teaching you this is because one, this recipe is amazing, but two, most pozoles or menudos are made with animal fat, and as someone who grew up allergic to pork, the main ingredient in this Mexican soup is lard, which is pork fat, so I couldn't really eat much of it. And then in certain recipes it is beef tripe, which is a throwaway piece of cow. So I can't really eat any conventional pozole, so I created my own recipe. I'm not 100% sure what the difference between menudo and pozole is. I tried to figure that out years ago. It's not a distinct answer anywhere. So if you know what it is, let me down below. But yes, let's get into it. And I want to say, to make this recipe, everything you need is under $35 to make a big batch. And I mean like huge pot you'll see me making later. I also want to mention, you're gonna get a lot of servings out of it, out of this recipe. So you can always half it or quarter it or whatever you want. But it is a little time consuming, so I would recommend making a bigger pot. There's Scarlett. So let's get into it. Start with the ingredients you'll need. Specifics will be on the screen. Chile de adobo peppers, guajillo peppers, hominy, 6 Roma tomatoes, vegetable broth, water, oregano, ground cumin, garlic powder, lemon pepper, garlic, 1 white onion, and chicken bouillon cubes. And here are the optional ingredients: Mexican bouillon bread, garlic powder, and butter for toast, cilantro, avocado, white onion or yellow, limes, cabbage, and radish to top. I'm gonna start by separating my peppers to deseed them. I'm just putting them on these plates, and I'm wearing gloves because I really do not want to get the heat on my eye. So I'm putting the 12 guajillo peppers and the 6 adobo peppers on a plate. Then I am deseeding them. I'm cutting them with a pair of scissors, kitchen scissors, and deseeding them and putting them on a separate plate. Now you're not going to be able to get every single seed out, but do the best you can. You want most of them gone. That way your chile is not as spicy and your pozole is not super spicy. Now if you like it spicier, you can add more chile de adobo peppers, which are the little ones you're about to see me deseed. And these are a little harder, but usually you can just shake the peppers out and then peel them apart. Once this is all done, I'm actually going to be cutting my tomatoes next in halves and then quarters, cutting off the ends and then cutting in halves and quarters like you see me doing here. That way in total we have a bunch of pieces of tomatoes. Putting them in a nice big pot, and then along with my 6 cloves of garlic. Don't be too precise in getting all the wrapping out because we are basically going to boil all of this, so the cloves, the wrapping will fall off. Alright, while that boils, we're going to open our big can of hominy and rinse it nice and good until the water runs clean. That way we get all the little grime off. And then we're going to reserve some hominy to the side. Then I'm taking all my vegetable broth and pouring it into the pot with the hominy. And this is going to be the base of our soup. And then I'm cutting our onion into 4s, peeling off the skin, and then I'm putting that in the broth. Over here, I'm waiting until my peppers are nice and tender, and I'm putting everything in a blender. And then I'm going to take my tomatoes and de-skin them. That way they are nice and tender. The skin should just fall right off. Now, don't worry, you can always drain the water after to get the little pieces of pepper. I'm also putting the cloves of garlic in there. And then you're going to see me take 3 3/4 cups of water from here, from this pot, and put it into the blender also, as you can see me doing here. You can add a little more if you want a thinner sauce. And here I am draining the remainder of the peppers and holding them. Then taking that hominy and putting them in the blender, and 6 bouillon cubes here, okay? This is gonna give us that really meaty taste to the soup. And then you're just gonna add all your spices also here into the blender. And then you're gonna take 2 halves of your onion, not all of it. So I'm putting the garlic, lemon pepper, 2 teaspoons of oregano here, cumin, and blending that all up. I usually do this for a minute, and then you can pour it straight into your soup broth. You can definitely use a cheesecloth to get the little pieces out so you have a smoother taste. I did not do that because I feel like the little pieces of pepper that's left are good. And I felt like I needed a little more garlic powder, lemon pepper, and oregano just to bring out some flavors a little bit more. This is totally optional. And then now that our soup is simmering, we're gonna wait for that to boil. We're gonna put all our toppings. So I'm cutting cabbage and limes, putting those on a plate. These are just to top your soup. And then you're gonna want a lot of lime, okay? I say like 2 limes a person per plate. Limes really bring out the flavor. Cutting my onion, I'm just cutting half for now. I'm very bad at this, but my eyes didn't water. Cutting my avocado, being very careful because I don't want avocado hands, using a spoon to get it all out. Don't judge me how I cut this avocado. I don't eat avocados that often, okay? The seed just kind of flew. It said eat. And then lastly, I'm putting some cilantro on here just for a little topper. And then just rearranging everything. And then you're going to want to make your bread to go with your soup. So I'm cutting all the Mexican pan in halves, and then I'm using a stick of non-dairy butter to just butter both sides of the bread. You're going to want to be very liberal with this, and at some point I took the wrapper off because my hands were melting the butter faster. Then I'm going to reorganize my bread and take a generous amount of garlic powder and put it on top. Okay, this is going to give it a superb taste. Putting it into the oven for 10 minutes till crispy. Lastly, it's time to serve. So get yourself a good bowl. Add your cabbage, your radish, your avocado, your lime. I do not like onion in mine. Whatever you want. And serve. And here it is. Don't forget to drink yours with a Mexican Coke, which is oddly vegan, but that's a whole nother story. And yeah. What did you think? Are you going to try this recipe out? I highly recommend it. It is so easy. And there is a blog post down below linked for you. The only thing that's not on that blog post in the recipe is the oregano, but the oregano is really, really important. So just remember, 2 teaspoons of oregano in the blend mix, okay? I wrote that blog post a long time ago, so. Alright, picture of the day is this picture of the pooches. That pooch right there, Scarlet. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next Createmas. Bye!